Hello everyone and welcome to the Hook Studio. Today we are going to make this beautiful duckling, and for that I have in yellow and orange colors. These are bulky yarn, and I've also used white Aran chenille yarn and black Aran cotton yarn. I've used a 5.5 mm hook and a stitch marker. So let's get started. We can start by making a magic ring. Now make 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Don't forget to mark the first single crochet. Now we can do 5 more single crochets into the magic ring. Our last single crochet. Now pull the yarn tail to close the magic circle. Remove the stitch marker, and we are going to start our next round. So in the next round we are going to do increase for 6 times. That is, in every single stitches we have done in round 1 we are going to do an increase. Increase simply means doing 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So I've done 2 single crochets into the stitch. Now we can move to the next stitch and do 2 single crochets there. So we have finished round 2. Now remove the stitch marker and do a single crochet into the first stitch. Put the stitch marker back. In round 3 we are going to do a single crochet and an increase into the next stitch. So we have to repeat this pattern. So into the third stitch we are going to do a single crochet again, and into the next stitch an increase. So we have to repeat this pattern for 6 times. Now we have completed round 3. So remove the stitch marker and make a single crochet into the first stitch. Put the stitch marker back and do another single crochet into the very next stitch, followed by an increase. So we are going to do 2 single crochets in 2 stitches and an increase in the third stitch. So again, first single crochet, second single crochet, followed by an increase in the third stitch. That's the first single crochet, second single crochet, and an increase. Repeat this pattern till the end. In round 5 you have to do a single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. So do the first single crochet, put the stitch marker back. Now you have to repeat doing single crochets in each and every stitch, and you will get 24 single crochets at the end of this round. Now we have completed round 5, and in round 6 you have to do a single crochet on the first stitch, put the stitch mark back, and another 2 single crochets on the next 2 stitches, which will make a total of 3 single crochets, followed by an increase in the fourth stitch. So this is a combination for this round, that is 3 single crochets on 3 stitches, increase in the fourth stitch. Now repeat this till the end. In round 7, we have to do a single crochet in every stitch till the end, which will give you a total of 30 stitches, and you have to repeat the same for round 8 and round 9. We have completed the 3 rounds. In round 10, we are going to start the decreases. So do the first single crochet and put the stitch marker back. Do another 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. And in the next 2 stitches, that is the 4th and 5th stitches, we have to do a decrease. So I have done an invisible decrease here. So this is a combination for this round. 1, 2 and 3 single crochets followed by a decrease. Repeat this till the end. We have completed round 10. Now do a single crochet into the first stitch, mark the stitch, and do a single crochet in every stitch till the end, and you will have 24 stitches by the end of this round. We have completed round 11. Now let's start round 12 by making our first single crochet, mark the stitch, and do 3 more single crochets. So after doing 4 single crochets, you have to do 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches followed by a decrease. So this pattern we have to repeat for 4 times, that is 2 single crochets followed by a decrease. Repeat it for 3 more times and I'll meet you there. Now to finish this round, we can work 4 single crochets. So we have completed round 12 and now we can place our 14mm safety eyes. We have to place them in between round 7 and round 8. So count from the top: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So between 7 and 8 with 5 stitches in between, but there will only be 3 visible stitches in between both the eyes. Once you secure the eyes, we can start with round 13. So you have to make 4 single crochets. That's 2, 3 and 4. So after 4 single crochets, we have to do the combination of a single crochet followed by a decrease. So we have to repeat this combination for 4 times. Once you complete the combination for 4 times, you can do 4 single crochets into the 4 last stitches. So for round 14, you can start with 4 single crochets, mark the first single crochet and do 3 more single crochets. 3 and 4. Now we have to do 4 decreases and 4. So 4 decreases, after doing 4 decreases, you can do 4 single crochets to end this round. So now we have completed the head. We can use some fiber fill to stuff the head firmly. Now leave a long tail to attach the head to the body later and cut the yarn. Now use the same yarn to make the body of the duckling. So we can start with making a slip knot. After making the slip knot, you can chain 8. Now we have made 8 chains. Now to start the second round, starting from the second chain from the hook, you can do 6 single crochets. That's the first single crochet. Mark the stitch. Now go ahead and do 5 more single crochets. Once you finish 6 single crochets into the very last stitch, you can make 3 single crochets. Make sure you make all 3 single crochets into the last stitch. That's the second single crochet into the same stitch. We have to do one more into the very same stitch. Just hide the tail as you do the third stitch. Now you can work on the opposite side of the chains. You can do 5 single crochets. That's 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now into the last stitch here, you can make an increase. That's the first single crochet and do one more into the same stitch. Now round 2 is complete. Now to start round 3, you can remove the stitch marker and do a single crochet into it. So this round we start with an increase, so do one more single crochet into the first stitch. Now we can do 6 single crochets. Now we have to work 2 increases into the next 2 stitches. So that's the first increase, and that's our second increase. Now work 6 single crochets followed by an increase into the last stitch. So that's our last increase. So we have a total of 20 stitches. Now to start round 4, remove the stitch marker and do a single crochet into the very first stitch. Put the stitch marker back. Into the next stitch, work an increase. 1 and 2. Now work 6 single crochets followed by an increase. So that's where we have to do an increase. That's 1 and 2. Now we have to do 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. And work another increase into the next stitch. 1 and 2. Now do 6 single crochets. And we are doing an increase after the 6 single crochet. 1 and 2. And last, we end this round with a single crochet. In round 5, we have to do a single crochet into all 24 stitches. No increases, no decreases, just single crochets all the way around. I'll meet you there once you finish it. In round 6, you have to start with a single crochet, and into the second stitch you have to do an increase. That's 1 and 2. Now you have to do 8 single crochets into the 8 stitches. Now into the next stitch you can do an increase. That's 1 and 2. Now 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. That's the first one. That's the second one. And again we have to do an increase. And now into the 8 stitches you can do 8 single crochets. So go ahead and complete it. And now do an increase into the next stitch and a single crochet into the last stitch of this round. Now from round 7 to round 11 you simply have to do single crochet into all 28 stitches. So complete it and we'll meet there. I have completed till round 11. To start round 12, remove the stitch marker and start with a single crochet into the very first stitch. Put the stitch marker back and do another single crochet into the very next stitch. Now do an increase into the third stitch. That's 1 and 2. Now go ahead and do 8 single crochets into the 8 stitches. That's the 8th stitch. Now into the next stitch do an increase. That's 1 and 2. And work 4 single crochets into the 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now work an increase into the next stitch. 1 and 2. Now again into the next 8 stitches you can work 8 single crochets. Now go ahead and complete the single crochets. Now into the very next stitch you can work an increase. That's the first one and the second single crochet. Now 2 single crochets into the last 2 stitches. That's the first one and that's the second one. Now we have completed round 12. Now for round 13 and 14 you have to single crochet all the way around and you will have 32 stitches at the end of each round. Now go ahead and complete it and I'll meet you after that. Now we have completed till round 14. Now for round 15, remove the stitch marker and do a single crochet into the first stitch. Put the stitch marker back and now into the next stitch do another single crochet. Now we are starting decreases, so into the next 2 stitches we have to do an invisible decrease. After the decrease, go ahead and do 8 single crochets into the 8 stitches. Now after that you have to do another decrease and then do 4 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now work another decrease. There we go. And now 8 single crochets into the next 8 stitches. So go ahead and complete it. Now we have to work another decrease followed by 2 single crochets into the last 2 stitches. In round 16, go ahead and do a single crochet into 28 stitches and meet me back once you're done. In round 17, we are going to start with a single crochet, mark the stitch and work a decrease. After that, you have to work 8 single crochets into the 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now we have to work another decrease followed by 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches and work another decrease and do 8 single crochets. Go ahead and complete them. Now we have to do a decrease here. And a single crochet into the last stitch. We'll have a total of 24 stitches by the end of this round. Now let's go ahead and fill the body. So stuff it nicely and start round 18 with a single crochet. So in this round we have to make 16 single crochets. I have completed it already. And now we have to do decreases 4 times. So that's our first decrease. That's the second one. Third decrease. And our last decrease is done. Now for round 19, start with a single crochet, mark the stitch, and do 13 more single crochets. We want a total of 14 single crochets. Go ahead and complete it. Now we have to do decreases 3 times. So that's our first decrease. Second decrease. And the third decrease. So now for round 20, we have to start with a decrease. So I'll go ahead and do an invisible decrease into the first 2 stitches, mark the stitch, and work 5 single crochets into the 5 stitches. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now into the next stitch, do an increase. Followed by another 5 single crochets into the 5 stitches. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we have to end this round with 2 sets of decreases. So let's do our first decrease right there and move to our second decrease to end this round. Now remove the marker and do round 21. Again we are starting with a decrease. After first decrease, mark the stitch and work 5 single crochets, and then an increase, then again 5 single crochets, followed by a decrease at the end. So you can go ahead and complete them. So I've completed round 21. Now moving to round 22, we again start with a decrease, mark the stitch, and work 10 single crochets and a decrease. Now this is round 23. We have to do decrease 6 times. So that's our first decrease. That's our second decrease. Third. Fourth. Fifth. And the last decrease of this round. Now the body of our duckling is almost done. So remove the stitch marker and we can go ahead and fill the tail portion with some fiber fill. Now cut the yarn and leave a tail to weave in because we have to close the tail. Now you can yarn the needle and close the tail by inserting your needle into just the front loops of the last 6 stitches that we have done. So make sure it goes only into the front loops. So once you have got all the stitches, you can pull the yarn and close the tail. Now you can hide the tail. We have completed the body of the duckling. Now we'll be making wings. You'll have to make 2 wings. So start with a magic ring and work 6 single crochets into the ring. Don't forget to mark the stitch. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now you can pull the yarn tail to close the magic circle. Remove the stitch marker and start round 2. In round 2 we are simply going to work a single crochet into the 6 stitches. That's the first one. That's the second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Second one is the third stitch, fourth, fifth and the sixth single crochet. In round 3 you are going to start with a single crochet, mark the stitch and an increase into the next stitch. So this is a combination for this round, a single crochet followed by an increase. So you'll have to repeat this 3 times to complete round 3. So go ahead and complete it. So we have completed round 3. To start round 4, remove the stitch marker and start with a single crochet. We have to do 9 single crochets in this round, so go ahead and complete 8 more. In round 5, the combination is 2 single crochet followed by an increase, and you'll have to repeat it 3 times in total. So let's do the first single crochet, mark the stitch, do another single crochet into the next stitch, and we have to do an increase into the third stitch. That's the first one and the second one. Now again a single crochet into the next 2 stitches followed by an increase. That's 1 and 2. Now repeat it 1 more time. Now in round 6 you have to do a single crochet, mark the stitch and do another 2 single crochets because we want a total of 3 single crochets and an increase into the next stitch. It's 1 and 2. So we have to repeat this pattern 2 more times, that is 3 single crochets followed by an increase. Now in round 7 we have to start with a single crochet. The combination for this round is 4 single crochets followed by an increase. So we have to make 3 more single crochets. That's 2, 3 and 4. And now we have to make an increase into the next stitch, which is the 5th stitch. 1 and 2. So we can follow the same pattern for 2 more times. Now in round 8 you have to work a single crochet into every stitch, which will leave you a total of 18 stitches by the end of this round. start round 9 with a single crochet, mark the stitch and work a decrease into the next 2 stitches. So this is a combination for round 9, a single crochet followed by a decrease, and you'll have to repeat this combination for a total of 6 times. A single crochet followed by a decrease. So you can go ahead and complete it, and I'll meet you there. Now we'll have to lightly fill the wings. So it doesn't have to be filled firmly. You just need a little bit of fiber fill, maybe a little bit more, and that's it. You don't have to overstuff it. Now let's start round 10 with a decrease. So this is the last round. Mark the first decrease. So in this round we only have to do 6 decreases. So that's the second decrease, the third decrease, fourth decrease, fifth, and the last decrease of this round. That's it. Now we can go ahead and close this one. So you have to flatten the wings and insert your hook into the 2 stitches, one in the front and one at the back, and do a single crochet. So insert into the 2 stitches and do another single crochet. So repeat this 3 times in total to get 3 single crochets on top. Now you can leave a long tail and cut the yarn of both the wings. We will be attaching both the wings to the body later. Now you will need to make 2 feet. So for that I'm using a bulky chenille yarn, and we can start by making a magic ring, and into the magic ring we will have to work 6 single crochets. We can pull the yarn tail to close the magic ring. In round 2, you will have to do 6 increases, which means 2 single crochets into each stitch. So mark the first stitch. We have to do 1 more into the same stitch, so that's our second single crochet. And now go ahead and complete 5 more increases before we move to round 3. Now for the next 4 rounds, you will have to do a single crochet into each stitch, and you will have 12 stitches at the end of each round. So do the first single crochet, mark the stitch, and you can do a single crochet into each of these stitches. You can now go ahead and complete 3 more rounds. Now we have to do 3 double crochet together. To do the double crochet together, you have to yarn over, insert your hook into the next single crochet, and also insert your hook into the corresponding stitch on the back of the foot. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's how we do our double crochet together. You have to repeat 2 more times into the same 2 stitches. Now that's our second double crochet together. Repeat it 1 more time. That's our third one. Now we have to do a slip stitch into the next 2 single crochets, the front and the back one. So do a slip stitch, and now into the next one you have to do 3 double crochet together, just the way we have done the first one. That's the first one, second one into the same stitches, and a third one into the same stitches. So into the next 2 stitches, go ahead and do a slip stitch, and now into the next one do 3 double crochet together. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we have got 1 more. There we are going to do a slip stitch to finish the foot. So that's it, that's our foot. So we can cut the yarn, leaving our small tail, and you can weave in the tail using a needle. Now that both the feet are finished, let's move on to crocheting the beak. Start by making a slip knot and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For round 2, begin from the second chain from the hook. Make sure to insert your hook through both loops of the chain, not just the front loop. So see, that's a back bump there, and we have inserted the hook under both the loops. Now we have to do 3 single crochets. After doing the first, mark the stitch, then work 2 more single crochets. This can be a bit tricky, but make sure you insert your hook under both the loops. Now that's our second single crochet and a third one. Now into the last stitch, we have to work 3 single crochets. So that's 1. Into the same stitch, we are going to work the second one and 1 more single crochet into the same. Now we have to do 2 single crochets and an increase on the last stitch. So hide the tail and do a single crochet into the next stitch, do another single crochet, and into the last stitch you have to do an increase. Now round 3, you will start with an increase. So remove the stitch marker and do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Mark the stitch and second one there. And now we have to do 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches, and then do increase into the next 2 stitches. So that's our first increase, and that's our second increase. Now again, you'll have to do 3 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3, and into the last stitch you will have to do an increase. 1 and 2. That's the end of round 3. And now round 4 and 5 you just have to do a single crochet into all 14 stitches. Now I've completed them. Now we can start assembling the parts. So start with attaching the head to the body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to attach the head between round 5 and round 8. So use a needle and insert your needle into one stitch on the body. And now insert the needle into one single crochet on the head. And that's how we attach the head. Again, into the next stitch you can insert the needle into the next stitch on the body, and you can insert your needle into the next single crochet on the head. And this way you can attach the head to the body. Now we have done that part. Next we have to attach both the wings to the body. So the wings should line up with the outer edge of the head, and you can use the same technique to attach the wings as well. So you have to insert the needle into a stitch on the body and insert the needle into one single crochet on top of the wings. And we have to repeat it for a couple of times, like 3 times, and then a few more stitches to secure it to the body. If you think the wings are flappy, don't worry, you can bring the needle to the center and do a couple of stitches to secure it firmly to the body. Now the wings are nice and firm, so you can go ahead and attach the second wing as well. So line up with the outer edge and attach the wing. We have attached the head and both the wings to the body. Position the beak right below the eyes, centered neatly between both the eyes. Before sewing, use needles or pins to hold the beak in place. This helps you check the placement and make sure it's straight. Once you're happy with the position, you can thread the yarn needle and begin sewing the beak securely onto the head. Stitch evenly around the edges, keeping the beak flat and snug against the head as you work. So you'll be attaching the beak the same way you have attached the wings to the body. Now attach both the feet to the body. We have completed crocheting the beautiful duckling. I've also crocheted a beanie. So I'll be uploading a separate tutorial on how to crochet the beanie. You can also crochet a bow tie for the duckling. Hope you like this tutorial. Please do comment below if you like it.